Back in the day, it was much more common to see different types of prizes put on different types of snacks. Like for example, if you get this number or that number inside the bag of chips or inside the soda or even inside the cigarette pack, you're gonna win X amount of money. You have these types of prizes today, but it's not like the ones you see 30 years ago. In the year 1992, Pepsi Company decides to run a promotion in the country of Philippines to bring a lot more customers to their products. The name of this promotion was Number Fever. When this promotion was going on, you would wish that you only had a fever because it was much worse than that. At this time, most of the sodas being sold in the Philippines were put in glass bottles with that iconic cap. The promotion was like this. You would buy a soda bottle, open the cap, look inside, and there is a 3-digit number. And the 3 numbers inside the cap would get announced at night to see if you won. It was interesting because Pepsi was doing this once every night. Like the number that was chosen on February 18th, 1992 was 373. Anybody that had 373 on their cap would be a winner. Winner of 1 million pesos, which is an insane amount of money at this time. This is about $40,000 in 1992 money. And that's why a prize like this was making people of the Philippines go crazy for some soda bottles. Whenever someone in the Philippines was getting thirsty at this time, they would buy a soda. When Pepsi Company realizes that they're becoming very popular in Southeast Asia, they try to bring other sodas that is under their umbrella. Soda companies like 7-Up, Mountain Dew, and Miranda, and their caps also count in this type of promotion. The people of the Philippines didn't know what to do. They wanted to win this 1 million pesos, and they weren't gonna let go easily. It got to a point where more than 50% of the population was buying these sodas for a chance of winning. Some people left their job so they can go dumpster diving and get the caps that people threw away out in the chance of winning that night. There were people that didn't know there was a promotion like this going on, so there was an off chance you would find Pepsi caps inside the dumpster. At this time, the Philippines has a population of more than 65 million people, which is a whole lot of people, and more than 30 million of those are participating in this prize pool. 30 million of them are buying sodas and drinking them. 15 million of them don't care and they throw away the cap. And the rest of the people are trying to find these caps in the dumpsters. Looking for Pepsi caps was like a full-time job for a lot of people. This promotion continues for 3 months straight. Every day a secret number is chosen by Pepsi, and this number is put on 2 caps inside the factory. So that day, 2 winner numbers are entered the market with these Pepsi bottles. And it wasn't certain which soda goes to which part of the country. It could go to a different village, a different city. Nobody really knew. All we know is that 2 people would win that night. Every day, 2 people would win and celebrate. And the rest of the people would be sad and jealous and wish that it was them. So they go and drink more soda in the chance of winning. The plan was to keep this promotion going for 3 months. After the 3 months was over, the leaders of the company in the Philippines put a meeting together and said this is going better than we expected, so we should expand this for 5 more weeks. But after they extended to 5 more weeks, this is when things get a little too complicated. The computers that organized and generated all these numbers was glitched after this was extended. On May 5th, 1992, it is sunset and a whole lot of Filipinos are waiting for the winning number to be announced. The number that gets announced in the TV is 349. This was supposed to be like any other night. 2 winners that get all that money. But just like we said, something in the system and programming of this software glitched and a disaster was made, because you could find 349 in hundreds of thousands of different caps, and all these people thought they had won the 1 million pesos. After every hour, the number of winners would go higher and higher, and anyone that had 349 felt like a winner. You might not believe it, but 24 hours after, more than 600,000 people had this cap. You could find winners in every city, every town, every village of the Philippines, and they all thought that they had won, so they were celebrating heavily. Some people felt even luckier because they had found a few of these, and they thought they were gonna get millions of pesos. The worst thing is, so many winners, and they're all celebrating in the city, in their home, and spending a whole lot of money. After the celebration was over and it was the next day, a lot of people decided to go in front of the Pepsi factory in the Philippines to get their money quicker. In the morning of that day, you should have seen the front of the factory, because there was countless amounts of people. There were so many people that the employees at Pepsi were forced to use the government and the police to push the people back. That's how crowded it was. The managers at Pepsi Philippines were forced to have an emergency meeting to figure out what the hell to do, because they had made one of the biggest disasters in their company's history. Why is there so many winners? When they calculated the amount of winners and the amount of prize winnings they have to give the people, it counts more than $10 billion. And that's why they were forced to give a speech to the people of the Philippines. They said, unfortunately, there was a glitch in our computer and we can't give you the money, but we will give you a prize. Not 1 million pesos, but 500 pesos, which converts to $20. Most people in the Philippines were pissed off, but they understood what has happened and they got their 20 bucks and went back to work and didn't think anything of it. But a smaller percentage of people were angrier and they wanted their money badly. But PepsiCo had a whole lot of power, especially in the Philippines, and could just say, no, we can't fulfill your order like that. But people wouldn't let go this easily. There was a protest in front of the company days in and days out. They would yell, sometimes even throw cocktail Molotovs, and basically cause riots. Every day the protests get more violent and angrier. And unfortunately, in these protests, 5 people died. After a few days, some of the more patient people came together and made 800 people sue Pepsi Company for $400 million. When there is a court in order about Pepsi Company and the people, around the country there's a whole lot of attacks on Pepsi property, like different trucks get attacked, set on fire, office buildings get bombed and set on fire. And they were making it look like the 800 people that are suing Pepsi Company is behind all this. But that was the fishy section, because the policemen that investigated all these fires and burnings, they said it seems like it's a setup, because no one is in these trucks or offices and they just randomly were set on fire. And that's when stuff hits the fan, because in the news and people started talking about how the Pepsi Company wants to make the people of the Philippines look like terrorists. And that's when they all went backwards and a lot of people went against PepsiCo. Either way, Pepsi's lawyer came in clutch and successfully won the trial. They didn't have to pay anyone anything, and they only had to pay a small fine of 150,000 pesos. And the ones that didn't get their 20 bucks for having this cap didn't even get that. The computers at Pepsi Company that created the algorithm for these numbers basically cost Pepsi their business in the Philippines, and the people never saw this company the same ever again. They still sell Pepsi and it's still somewhat popular, but it's no longer number 1 because it has been replaced by the king of the sodas, Coca-Cola, a promotion that was gifted by the glitch in the system of Pepsi Company.